Okay, let's dive right into this. If you've been feeling this heavy sense of mental burnout lately, staring endlessly at a blank Google Doc, or maybe doom scrolling through TikTok when you know you should be studying, or honestly just feeling like your brain is constantly running on 1% battery, you are absolutely not alone. We literally demand so much of our minds every single day. But here's the fascinating truth we're exploring in today's explainer. Your brain is a literal, high-tech supercomputer. It controls every emotion, every thought, every physical sensation you have. It holds the raw processing power to compose epic symphonies and solve the absolute most complex mathematical equations in existence. Yet for most of us, this incredible machine is just sitting dormant. It's waiting to be unleashed.
So I want you to be totally honest with yourself right now. Are you losing your brain power? Think about it for a second. Are you blanking on a conversation you literally just had 5 minutes ago? Or do you sit down to absolutely crush a project, only to find yourself opening a new tab every 3 seconds? Or maybe you just feel kind of stuck, trapped in this comfortable, repetitive little zone where your mind isn't really being challenged anymore. It's incredibly common to start feeling like your cognitive hardware is slowly degrading, almost like an old smartphone that just can't keep up with the newest apps.
But here is the incredibly empowering reality. Your brain is a supercomputer. You're just not using it to its full capacity. Your hardware isn't broken. It is just coasting on its default settings. So today, we are going to walk through 6 scientifically backed techniques that act as the ultimate software update for your mind. These are proven strategies to boost your memory, completely skyrocket your productivity, and just elevate your overall mental performance. Let's start the installation.
All right, on to our first major system upgrade. Master energy, not time.
Now, the science behind our biological clocks is just fascinating. It's called the ultradian rhythm. You see, you don't actually have a flat battery life. Your brain naturally operates in 90-minute cycles. Within that cycle, you get roughly 70 minutes of peak high-energy focus, followed directly by a 20-minute low-energy period of rest. The massive biological mistake so many of us make is trying to force our focus during that 20-minute low. Instead of chugging a third cold brew just to fight our own biology, we really need to let the brain cool down naturally. So the absolutely crucial point here is that number right there, 70. You get exactly 70 minutes of premium, peak, high-energy focus per cycle. You need to identify when your personal window happens. Like, are you a morning person or a total night owl? Whenever that peak hits, this is exactly when you tackle your absolute most challenging work. Coding that app, writing that thesis, building your business, whatever it is. Guard it with your life. Do not waste this precious window mindlessly scrolling through your phone or just sleeping in. Managing time is honestly kind of an outdated concept where we try to squeeze this weird robotic productivity out of every ticking second. Managing energy, on the other hand, is the true high-performance method. It's all about aligning your hardest tasks with your biological peaks and actually allowing yourself to rest naturally during the valleys. It is a complete paradigm shift.
Which brings us to a major roadblock in our everyday productivity. Can you actually multitask? Modern hustle culture is constantly telling us we need to be doing 3 things at once to be successful, right? But listening to a Zoom meeting while frantically answering Slack messages and trying to eat a burrito doesn't actually make you productive. It literally just makes you distracted. Let's look at what the science actually says about your brain's processing limits.
The answer is a hard no. You cannot multitask effectively. Our brains can only fully focus on one complex task at a time, period. When you attempt to multitask, you are really just rapidly switching your attention back and forth, which severely disrupts your concentration and actively reduces the quality of every single task involved. 100% single-task focus is the only true way to achieve peak results. One task, full power.
Moving right along to Section 2, train your mental muscles.
Okay, think back to when you were in school. When a teacher gave you a super difficult problem, your brain actually had to work to visualize and process it. Even if you couldn't solve it right away, that mental struggle was quite literally exercise for your brain. But today, we instantly Google the answer or just pull up a 30-minute YouTube tutorial. We are literally robbing our brains of the essential struggle required to think deeply. The fix for this is something called conscious daydreaming. Here is exactly how you do it. Step 1. Spend 15 to 20 minutes daily doing nothing but thinking. I know, it sounds crazy, right? Step 2. Vividly imagine landing that dream job or acing that final exam.
But you have to do it using all 5 senses. Just like in a nighttime dream where everything feels incredibly real, you want to recreate that experience while fully awake. This deliberate mental visualization activates multiple parts of your brain simultaneously, gradually increasing your overall brain power.
Just think about this quote for a second. Before the telephone or rocket existed, they were just someone's imagination. That is the absolute world-changing power of human imagination. It is the precursor to reality. When you exercise your imagination, you aren't just daydreaming, you are elevating your cognitive hardware to visualize things that don't even exist yet. How cool is that?
Now, let's talk about the physical wiring of this supercomputer. Our brain is divided into 2 cross-wired hemispheres. The left hemisphere activates when we use our right hand, and the right hemisphere activates when we use our left hand. And because most of us are strictly right-handed or strictly left-handed, we typically just let one entire half of our supercomputer sit there completely idle for most of the day.
So here is a highly actionable daily mental workout for you to try out. Try brushing your teeth, eating, or writing with your non-dominant hand. I guarantee you'll probably get toothpaste all over your shirt and feel incredibly frustrated at first. But listen, that frustration? That is the exact feeling of your brain literally forming brand new neural connections. You are actively forcing the machine to become stronger and far more adaptable.
All right, let's hit our final pillar, fuel for peak performance.
So, we've optimized the software, we've trained the mental muscles, but your biological machine absolutely demands high-grade premium fuel to maintain this crazy level of mental sharpness. You need to load up on omega-3s. Think walnuts, spinach, broccoli, and antioxidant-rich fruits to actively armor your brain cells against damage.
And fuel isn't just about what you eat, it's also how you process it. That number right there, 15, is your daily minimum. Not a grueling 2-hour gym session, guys. Just 15 minutes of movement to maintain your supercomputer. Because mental training alone is simply not enough. Here is exactly what those 15 minutes of exercise physically do to your brain. First, it completely floods your brain with oxygen. It spikes your blood circulation, it flushes out those toxic stress hormones, and absolutely most importantly, it triggers neuroplasticity. You are literally birthing brand new brain cells just by moving your body.
Which brings us to our final section, the catalyst. We've covered managing your energy rhythms, the power of single tasking, conscious daydreaming, and finally, fueling your mind. Because as our source material reminds us, we're not using our brains to their full potential and gradually losing brain power without even realizing it. Your brain's capability is vast. It is a stunning piece of biological machinery that is really just waiting to be pushed, challenged, and tapped for its true potential.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought as we wrap up today's explainer. You have the science now. You have the 6 techniques. So the choice is yours. Will you let your supercomputer stay dormant, or will you start your software update right now?